my review was both comprehensive and methodological. We conducted an extensive search across Icssr, PubMed, and SCOP using a combination of keywords and word units operator. Our search was refined using a set of strict inclusion and exclusion criteria as seen in table 1. A total of 95 articles were selected. Based on the title and abstract, 16 were picked. While our findings provide valuable insights, we also identified certain gaps in the literature. Burnout among women working in India indicating that more work is required to fully understand the nuances of the issue. Moving on to table 2. Our review highlights that long working hours, excessive workload, high job demand, and insufficient organization support are some of the leading causes of burnout among working women. The corporate sector in particular struggles with job insecurity, workplace injustice, and lack of managerial support, all of which create a hostile work environment that drains employees both mentally and physically. For instance, a lack of role clarity in many professions leads to confusion and inefficiency, and heightened stress levels. When we are uncertain about our responsibilities or face constant shifting in expectations, it becomes increasingly difficult to maintain a sense of control over our lives. So there are various challenges, for example, industry-specific challenges. Burnout is not limited to just a single sector. It's pervasive across various industries. For example, in healthcare, female nurses and doctors often experience burnout in factors like compassion fatigue due to constant exposure to emotionally challenging situations. Factors such as shifting working hours and lack of insufficient resources contribute to their stress. In law enforcement, women in law enforcement face workplace discrimination, exposed to stressful events and gender bias. In the gig economy and corporate jobs, the modern workforce extensively values ambition. But in the gig economy, high ambition is often coupled with job insecurity and lack of work-life balance. This showed that each occupation had different various contributors to their stress. The common being the dual burden of professional and domestic responsibility. A dominant theme across various studies is the dual burden of domestic responsibilities and professional work. Women are expected to excel at work while simultaneously managing household duties, childcare, and elder care. Without structural support such as flexible work policies, parental leave, or workplace childcare facilities, many women experience chronic stress and work-life conflict. Over time, this leads to mental health issues such as anxiety, depression, hypertension, and fatigue. In extreme cases, based on the research, prolonged burnout can also lead to early retirement or forced resignation. To address this issue, organizations need to implement policy-level changes that foster a healthier and more supportive work environment. Going on to my table 3. From table 3, you can see that the existing research has provided valuable coping strategies that can help mitigate its effects. The table before us presents 16 studies that highlight diverse interventions ranging from individual level coping mechanisms to organizational policies aimed at reducing burnout. I will walk you through these strategies categorized them based on their focus: personal well-being strategies, workplace support systems, and policy-driven approaches. Moving on, personal well-being strategies. Based on the strategies such as mindfulness, emotional regulation are powerful tools for managing stress. Time management and workplace boundaries also play a crucial role. Self-care and stress reduction programs such as peer support groups and mental health counseling are highlighted. When it comes to workplace support systems, organizations support a job satisfaction program, addressing unfair workplace practices, and career counseling and financial planning create future. Moving on to policy-driven approaches, we have flexible work arrangements, gender-sensitive policies, and mental health and financial support programs. To address burnout effectively and systematically, we must look beyond traditional coping mechanisms and integrate psychological interventions into workplace structures and policies. Three such positive psychological models that we can begin with are the George Hans resources model, the conservation of resources theory, and the self-determination theory, which offer a more comprehensive research-backed approach to mitigating burnout among women in India. So why are the current strategies not enough? Many of the coping mechanisms currently recommended, such as stress management programs, career counseling, and time management, manage stress after already taking a toll, rather than creating conditions that reduce the likelihood of burnout happening in the first place. Moreover, these strategies do not address systematic work challenges, such as gender biases, lack of manual support, and unfair workload distribution. All of this significantly contribute to burnout. To create lasting change, we need psychological framework that target both individual resilience and organizational reform. I'm going to explain in short each of these psychological interventions that actually might have an impact. The role of job demand resources model, developed by Baker and University, highlights the balance between job demand and job resources. High job demand, such as excessive workload, emotional stress, and workplace discrimination, lead to burnout when resources like autonomy, flexibility, and social support are insufficient. Applying this model means restructuring job roles, ensuring manageable workloads, and providing greater autonomy to working women. This intervention shifts the focus from individual coping to organizational responsibility, ensuring the burnout is prevented rather than risk management. Moving on to conservation of resources theory. This theory suggests that burnout occurs when individuals lose valuable resources such as time, energy, financial security, and emotional well-being. Women in India often face the constant depletion of these resources, balancing work with household duties, childcare, and family expectations. To apply this theory, workplaces must redistribute resources effectively, offering financial planning assistance, employee wellness programs. For protecting and replenishing women's resources, we prevent burnout at its root instead of forcing individuals to constantly struggle for balance. The last theory which I believe might make a difference is the self-determination theory. This framework, introduced by Desai states that people are motivated and engaged when three fundamental needs are met, that is autonomy, competence, and resilience. Autonomy, when women should have more control over their work schedules and decision-making processes. Competence, when companies should provide training programs to build skills and development opportunities to boost confidence. And relatedness, encouraging mentorship, peer networks, and inclusive work environments. So why do these interventions matter for Indian women in specific? Indian workplaces are often structured around women hierarchies and traditional gender roles, which can intensify burnout of women. Many still struggle with unrealistic expectations. By integrating these themes, look to corporate policies and work environment, organizations can create a culture that prioritizes well-being over exhaustion, shift responsibility for burnout from individuals to employers, develop long-term solutions, and encouraging systematic change in the gender dynamics at work. However, these interventions do not directly address what Indian women face, where they are expected to fulfill both responsibilities as domestic and professional work. Even if workplaces become more accommodating and societal expectations may continue to drain from women's personal resources, leading to burnout. Thus, new psychological interventions that address both workplace and societal pressures must be explored first. Until then, a combination of workplace policies, social wellness programs, and psychological support through